Let justice be done, though the heavens fall. The law is too important.
He defecated through a sunroof.
It's time to break down another Better Call Saul episode in order. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Prepare to view Chuck's iconic speech in a new light. Just one of 91 details you might not know in Season 3, Episode 5.
Chicanery?
It starts on a very Breaking Bad-like shot, although that's about the only similarity, as the rest of the episode is firmly in the legal side of the story. No Gus, no Hector, and this is the first of only 4 episodes with no Mike. But I can correct this slight. The director knew he wanted a Breaking Bad-style intro before anything else was figured out and got inspired by the fact that Chuck's lawn needed to be mowed. He also liked the idea of squeezing in as many outdoor shots as possible because this episode takes place almost entirely indoors. The bleach bypass effect signals this is a flashback. It's meant to be roughly 2001, the era of brown suit Jimmy working out of a nail salon a little before we met him in Uno. And that's a period-appropriate John Deere 220A, although it's a greens mower designed for very fine cuts like on golf courses. They probably chose it so the close-ups, partially filmed in the studio, would look more interesting. But with a maximum cutting height of 7/8 of an inch, that long grass is going to have problems after this.
We should probably discuss the rule of thirds.
The 1/3 rule of grass cutting says you should never remove more than 1/3 of grass blades at one time.
Found a phone!
They're not moving the painting out of the house, they're using it to hide the defunct breaker boxes.
Excellent. Thank you for being so careful.
Sir, we have to get in your attic.
For what?
You really can't use it if I don't do it.
No, it's all right. We're not gonna.
Ah, Chuck is hiding his condition for a special guest. 2001 is the earliest we've seen his condition.
What do you think? On? Off?
Do you want the mustache on or off?
Off, please.
Too bad.
The indent on Chuck's finger signals to me that he does still wear the ring regularly, but this is probably an unintended real-life artifact from Michael's ring. After all, 3 years prior, when he learned Jimmy
Past the bar?
he was not wearing a ring.
I think off.
Yeah, off it is.
He pockets the ring, although it's back on while he finishes setting up the candles.
You sure this is the right play? I mean, in my experience, the bigger the lie, the harder it can be to dig out.
So Jimmy thinks honesty is best and Chuck wants to be deceitful. I like that Bob added the "in my experience," although Chuck is already in the middle of one big lie at this point.
It's not my decision alone, but how could they say no?
So he'll now be 2 for 2 with his loved ones.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
He will cross that bridge in this episode. Let's see how that goes. Originally, Chuck was going to fixate on the chandelier here, but instead they used this earlier shot that echoes this shot from Rebecca's other appearance. This is clearly a man who is not over his ex.
I'm not.
And Chuck knows that women in the Breaking Bad universe love being surrounded by candles. Don't forget the aftershave, Chuck. These are not Michael McKean's hands. This is one of the caterers on the show. Someone just swapped those lemons and the greens.
Jimmy!
Chuck's making a yam puree to go along with the sea bass entree. It's no pizza and dipping sticks, but it looks pretty good.
It's open!
Chuck,
Rebecca, you look lovely.
so good to see you.
What's with the candles? Why are you sitting here in the dark?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
There's the Socrates bust again, and it's in a different spot compared to other episodes, so it feels like its prominent placement is intentional. Remember that Socrates believed,
The law is sacred.
Oh my God, the afternoon I've had.
although Chuck's a good liar, the way he tells this story reminds me of a not-so-good liar.
Boom.
Whoosh!
Power goes down.
Total pump malfunction.
Those bozos at PNM mixed up my payment.
My groin. The whole thing is just so stupid.
Wait, why'd he point at Junior when he said
Stupid.
Junior would have seen past Chuck's lie?
Lawyer guy, can you just tell the truth?
It's a condition. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Instead, Chuck said this.
The deadbeat at 512 San Cristobal hasn't been paying his bills. And of course, I'm 215.
So Chuck's the first McGill to trick his loved one with a number-swapping lie. And this could have contributed to Chuck figuring out the truth of Jimmy's swap,
This was no mistake.
because they previously cooked up this scheme together.
I borrowed some camping gear from my neighbors.
What do? Go to a restaurant?
They make a good con man team, and I bet Chuck is thrilled with Jimmy's ability to sell a lie right now.
Jimmy and Chuck working as a team.
We could hit Seasons, your treat.
Seasons Rotisserie and Grill is only a mile away from Chuck's house and next to a...
Gardenias.
although a different one. And yes, it did exist in 2001.
Dinner's almost ready. How about we just rough it?
Why not? It'll be fun. We'll do an haute cuisine campout.
They really are perfect for each other.
Great. Then it's settled. Let me take that.
Yeah, here. Oh, thank you.
According to the script, they're now eating bananas Foster for dessert.
Cheers to the Galloping Gourmet.
That's British cooking personality Graham Kerr.
Calvados is perfect.
You always like that.
He even served one of her favorite drinks.
No, Jimmy. You
No,
don't have
the least
to.
I can do is the dishes.
Once everything got settled, I'm a little surprised he didn't have Jimmy come up with an excuse to leave the dinner and make it even more romantic.
This turned out better than I thought. I'm so sorry about the lights.
Oh, it's nice. Atmospheric.
Chuck's art from the future continues with these two prints from 2012.
I still can't get over Jimmy being a lawyer.
Neither can I.
More than they know.
This place is the same. I would have thought you'd change things up.
You've got great taste, and if it ain't broke.
Yeah, creepy heads really help with the ambiance. Like the last time we saw her, they deviated from the typical bleach bypass effect because they wanted to reflect warmth between Chuck and Rebecca. Although this time they went even further.
How's the tour going?
It's good. China, South Korea, and Vietnam. After Santa Fe this week, back to Central Europe.
And it's good?
In Budapest, I think I saw mostly the inside of the concert hall and the Marriott.
Here are some lines that were cut.
I shouldn't complain.
You're not complaining. You're observing.
This part of the scene was filmed with a Vericam and its 5000 ISO setting, so it was lit almost entirely with candles and lanterns. There were another dozen candles off camera and a 1 square foot LED panel for some wide shots.
Did you finally get to see Salzburg?
Not yet, but next month after Vienna.
More cut lines, maybe because of the difficulty.
At the Neukloster Kirche. At the Neukloster.
Do you remember when we tried to go to Salzburg? And that crazy old lady on the scooter chased us out of the train station?
Aw, she's laughing with him like she used to laugh with Jimmy.
I miss having one place to hang my hat. Oh, I'm sorry.
For this to fit 2001, that would have to say Friday, November 16th, and I don't think it does.
Oh, it's my conductor.
Of electricity.
Hi, Andre. Oh, I can do that at rehearsal. Yeah, no problem.
I'd like to point out that the phone was there the whole time.
Chuck. Rebecca.
These segments depicting Chuck's panic were shot on 35mm film. They used a hand-cranked RE2C. While the A camera operator was filming, the B camera operator would crank forward, but then occasionally crank backwards to double, then triple expose the image. So this was all baked onto the film. Do you know what wasn't baked onto the film? Any film artifacts that I can see. It's interesting that every time they show Chuck reacting to electricity, they use different techniques. It's quick, but we see Chuck grab Rebecca's phone twice. First in the multi-exposed film, and then again half a second later. The idea was that you can see his brain thinking about doing it before he actually does it.
What is your problem?
Say something.
Walt?
I have cancer.
It is incredibly bad manners to answer a cell phone in company. It's very rude.
Nice save.
I'm sorry.
I may have overreacted. That was very abrupt.
No, I understand. Thank you for a lovely dinner, but I should be getting back to the hotel.
You can't let her leave like this. Just tell her what's going on.
No.
Would you rather she think you're a raging prick than know the truth?
What if both are true?
No. If you won't tell her, then I will.
No, you will not tell her.
Right.
That dog is totally looking at the camera, although so is the fish earlier. The props department once again grabbed a vintage magazine, although this one was a bit older than it needed to be, which we'll talk about in a bit. The idea with this casting was to get people who look like their pets. Did they succeed? They were going to have the iguana in a cage, but it was assistant director Rich Sickler's idea to have the guy petted on his lap instead.
You're suffocating her. Just because you don't see swinging dicks doesn't mean you can't tell a boy fish from a girl fish.
Jimmy and Mike's worlds keep getting increasingly intertwined. Last episode had Mike meet Chuck, and now Jimmy visits the vet for the first time, surely recommended to him by Mike.
Put her in a big bowl, at least a gallon. Get a good bubbler, maybe a plecostomus.
That's terrible advice. A plecostomus might eat her slime coat and should need more than a gallon.
All right, already, Jacques Cousteau.
I'm guessing our friend didn't refer you to me to get ichthyological advice.
In the script, he says crusty friend.
I'm looking for someone with a light touch. I'm not talking some teenager taking a 5-finger discount of string cheese at the Stop and Shop.
Or a preteen sticking his hands in the cash drawer.
Highly skilled, high-end, discreet, real pro.
You gotta fit him in a tight space?
I don't think so.
I got just the guy then.
We saw this place last season. It's where the disastrous state banking board meeting was, the real-life carpenters union building that they originally considered using for HHM.
That's why I say golfing is contact sport.
And there's the banking commissioner.
Great job, Mr. Wexler. Very refreshing.
Yeah, he really didn't like dealing with Chuck.
Maybe next time, double check. We're happy to get this one off the docket.
Not as happy as we are.
Kim's respect and politeness seemed to help get this fast-tracked.
I knew you were good, but I didn't know you were this good.
I'm glad you're happy.
This means a whole lot of work coming your way.
That's great.
Well, you don't sound like it's great.
I hate to be a
Cowboy.
buzzkill, but There is something you need to hear before we get any deeper in. It's about Charles McGill.
What about him?
Charles contends that his brother, Jimmy, with whom I happen to share an office space, took the documents pertaining to the Rosella branch, and while Charles was indisposed, photocopied and doctored them.
That's pretty Baroque.
I think it could make some noise in public. I wanted to tell you this in the spirit of full disclosure. I thought it was better if you heard it from me.
When Kim has important meetings or something where she needs more armor, she curls her ponytail more. Ray said that after season 1, her ponytail was only about 85% her real hair, mainly so it would keep its shape better without constantly having to fry her hair and damage it.
If you are not comfortable staying with me, we can discuss options.
The AMC promo for this episode left people hanging at this point to wonder if Kim would be fired.
If there's one thing I cannot abide, it's a man who won't own up to his mistakes. He's not gonna screw me out of the best outside counsel I've ever had. Cowboy.
Now the most important thing, dinner. We'll talk strategy. We move on to Colorado or Utah first?
This McGill thing, you're sure it's not going to be a problem?
I am. Mesa Verde isn't involved in any way, shape, or form.
Good.
They reused this seal prop from the hearing room last season, and I didn't realize it until right after publishing the Nailed video, but they put this one A on backwards.
Chicanery?
The other building's hallway floor, which has the seal for real, shows us how it should look.
Okay, this is it. We can run without lights and mics.
Yep, as I pointed out, there will be no mics in this episode. 30 and a half out of 49 minutes are spent in this room, so it's not surprising that 5 days out of the 8-day shoot were spent here, but they kept changing the lighting to keep things fresh. In real life, this was an abandoned courtroom that was once used for hearings, but was now completely empty. So they put this all together from the ground up, just like a set. Everything from the furniture to the ceiling tiles. And these amazing murals created by production designer Michael Novotny. At times, you can see problems with the fake wood. Strangely, this was the same room where they filmed the morgue video in Uno.
The court reporter, would it be possible to move him or her?
This dramatic shot of concerned Howard is courtesy of Daniel Sackheim, a new director to the Breaking Bad universe, although he'll direct another episode next season. He and Vince previously worked together on The X-Files. Daniel directed one of Vince's earlier episodes, and Vince learned a ton about directing from him.
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about the exit signs. It's code.
I love this front row seat to Howard psyching himself up. It's a lot like Kim preparing for the tough conversation with Kevin and Paige earlier.
Mr. Alley, I wonder if you'd give us a moment.
I'm Robert Alley for the State Bar.
Mr. Alley is played by Broadway star Quinn Van Antwerp, best known for his 3,000 performances of Jersey Boys. And he originally auditioned for Lyle. They felt he was too commanding for the part.
I'll be outside when you're ready.
Howard, how you feeling, Chuck?
I'll muddle through.
Because this is a lot to ask, and if you're not up to it, just throwing this out there. Maybe you don't need to testify at all.
No, I do.
It's already a solid case. Maybe there's no need to put you through the ringer like this.
This isn't about me. Or my health. This is about PR.
Howard is right. Putting him on the witness stand adds unnecessary risk. But for Chuck,
it is personal!
And they both know there's no way he'll be talked out of this.
We lost a client. That happened because your brother accessed documents that should have been secured at HHHHHHM. One of my jobs is to safeguard the firm's reputation.
Another is occasionally adding extra H's to keep us on our toes.
This is not the time to worry about how we look.
It's always the time for Howard to worry about how he looks.
I'm not going to risk Jimmy getting, a year's suspension? He deserves disbarment. There's only one way forward.
This kind of thing usually does not go well.
Maybe it's better if I do this myself. I do this.
Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
That's a translation of a Latin legal phrase meaning that justice must be realized regardless of the consequences.
Good morning.
No, Kim's morning routine is more subdued this time. We catch a glimpse of her opening statement, and it does match what we'll later hear her say.
In the matter of James M. McGill, the State Bar intends to prove the following violations of the Ethical Code. 16-102, 16-804.
The script calls out 16804B specifically.
16-304.
And here it specifies 16304A.
The State Bar believes that once we have presented the facts, the committee will agree that disbarment is warranted for James McGill.
The chairman is played by John Getz. Michael McKean said he lost tons of roles to John in the 80s, including starring in The Fly.
Miss Wexler?
Good morning. I'm Kim Wexler, co-counsel with James McGill. We don't dispute he broke into his brother's house, an act he regrets deeply. But there is another side to this story, about two brothers whose relationship after years of strain finally broke. We believe you'll understand James McGill is an asset to our legal community. Thank you.
If everyone's ready to begin testimony.
Here's an idea from director Dan to reflect that time is running out for Jimmy.
Mr. Alley, call your witness.
Bang, bang, bang. Then he kicked down the door. Bang, bang, bang.
Pop, pop, pop.
Bang, bang, bang. Pop, pop, pop. Bang, 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 bang.
Just boom, boom, boom.
He then broke the cassette into pieces and went on to confront his brother. Mr. Brightbill and I...
That's the private investigator that Charles hired?
That's correct.
In New Mexico, these hearings are open to the public, which is important for later, and here are two onlookers taking advantage of that.
He and I were concerned that Jimmy might strike his brother.
Nothing further at this time.
Miss Wexler?
She's taking on Howard's mannerisms before she kills him.
You testified you've known my client for some time.
Nearly 10 years.
This is a little weird because Jimmy moved to Albuquerque a little over 10 years ago, and I think he started in the HHM mailroom right away.
What was your opinion of him then?
He had a lot of get up and go.
You had a nickname for him, didn't you?
Charlie Hustle.
Charlie Hustle.
Again, even though I believe Howard meant this as a badge of honor, there was a risk that Pete Rose's nickname could have been used a bit against Jimmy here, given Pete Rose's tax evasion and getting banned from baseball for gambling.
He bootstrapped his way into a law degree while working in your mailroom. Did you consider taking him on as an associate?
Briefly.
Sounds like you didn't hire him. Why not?
The partners decided it would be best to avoid the appearance of nepotism.
Nepotism? Your firm is Hamlin, Hamlin, and McGill, right? Who's the other Hamlin?
My father.
Jimmy's own brother blocked him.
Objection.
We'll give you some leeway, Miss Wexler, but don't stray too far. Charles McGill is not the subject of this hearing.
The leeway makes a ton of sense because there's no jury that they have to worry about being confused or unfairly swayed. Because this is a Bar Association disciplinary hearing rather than a typical trial, the writers felt they could fudge some things. For example, for cross-examination, Kim should be leading Howard, so he only gives yes or no answers. Like, is the other H your father?
Yes.
But the way they do it is way more fun.
Who's the other Hamlin?
I mean, how do you figure that is?
My father.
You got me.
They also abbreviated this process by combining witness testimony with evidentiary proceedings that would have been separate events.
Eventually, he was hired by the firm of Davis and Main. I'd be happy to say more about that, if you'd like.
No. Could you speak to the terms of Charles's leave of absence?
You know I can't. It was an FMLA leave.
But you can confirm it was due to mental illness, correct?
Objection. Charles McGill's mental health isn't at issue.
Mr. Hamlin is not a psychiatric professional. Do you have any questions that would be more germane to his experience?
No. I have nothing further.
The witness is excused.
This episode has so much dialogue they made a point to get the script to the cast early, and the actors chose to gather at Bob's house to read through it on their week off.
We asked that Charles McGill's recording be played.
I'm respectfully renewing my objection. The probative value of playing this exhibit is outweighed by how prejudicial it is.
Kim told us she would try this.
Its probative value doesn't outweigh how prejudicial it is. I think we can get the whole thing bounced under 403.
But it correctly doesn't work because while any evidence of wrongdoing would be prejudicial, the tape doesn't appear to be unfairly prejudicial. And again, the committee can be confident in their own ability to not be misled.
We already ruled this was fair game when we denied your motion to suppress.
We need to know whether one lawyer attempted to tamper with another's evidence.
And while it was probably best to have Jimmy destroy the duplicate rather than the original,
Jimmy destroyed the duplicate.
Either should have been admissible. We know, however, that this is the result they expected and wanted.
Bingo.
By getting Chuck to admit it exists and objecting to it, she ensured it would be played so they could prepare for that. It opens the door for them to provide the context for Jimmy's break-in. Kim already outlined the strategy.
You went to him worried for his mental health.
This fortunate phrasing from Jimmy really helps to sell that.
I am saying it to make you feel better.
And this feels too good to be true, like he's patronizing him.
You got every detail exactly right.
I think the severity of Chuck's breakdown
My brain
makes it quite plausible that Jimmy would have done anything to make him feel better, even confess to a crime he didn't commit precisely because, as far as he knew,
It's your word against mine.
But maybe that's not enough because they have something more planned.
What are you still doing here? Flight's delayed. How delayed? 40 minutes last I checked. Shit. Keep me posted.
The State Bar is ready to proceed.
I'm begging your pardon. The defense requests a moment to review.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What are we doing?
Stalling.
Yes, my brother has many admirable qualities.
Too cold.
Chuck rehearsing is an intentional parallel to Jimmy, showing a poignant family resemblance. And it was scripted to resemble Jimmy even more with pacing, but director Dan decided to do this shot instead, inspired by a famous shot of JFK. Speaking of JFK, the movie included the line,
Let justice be done or the heavens fall.
I love my brother, but Ted Kaczynski's brother loved him too.
That's sanctimonious.
Ted Kaczynski is, of course, Chuck mentions him because he was caught thanks to his brother, who felt morally compelled to notify authorities to prevent more victims.
I love my brother, but the law is too important.
You right there, Howard?
His jacket is not lined with a space blanket this time, although in the room the lights will be off.
The law is too important.
This repeated delivery, which I love, is not in the script. We are now officially in 2003. A later episode will confirm that 3.5 weeks have passed since the end of Sabercito, which is consistent with the 2003 case number and sunk costs.
Sure shit wouldn't be telling you otherwise.
They left most of this recording with the original timing we saw in Click. They did remove some silence, mostly toward the end. They strangely shifted the timing of
sipping scotch and chortling.
And we should have heard the foil noise before he stopped the tape.
Kim deserves Mesa Verde. I did it to help her.
I like this sentiment from the script, but again, Kim should have heard this before the hearing.
It will be put into evidence for your review.
And this makes Kim a material witness, so representing Jimmy shouldn't be permitted. But again, maybe there's more leeway since it's not a criminal trial. Kim's watch says 8:15, but it was almost noon when she objected to playing the tape, and now it's about 1:15 noon.
All right, we need to prepare the room.
It's showtime, folks.
Your phone, sir?
I left it in the car.
That's unusual. See what time it is?
12:16.
We know that's intentional because 1, Vince. 2, are you telling me that time just happens to fall like that? And 3, the second hand isn't moving. Turning it up to 11 is also unrealistic because we've seen that the time has been 12:16 for at least the past 35 seconds.
Excuse me. Sorry, sirs.
First Mike, now Huel. Combined with what Jimmy said,
someone with a light touch,
and what we know about Huel,
excuse me,
and that he's reasonably happy, we can assume he just deposited something. Hopefully not a ricin cigarette. It does look like he could have had something hidden behind that paper. Then again, Huel does love to read, so maybe there's nothing to see here. There are so many ways this could have gone wrong. I know Huel's
real pro,
but that collision could have knocked Chuck backwards and we'd have a real criminal trial for Chicanery. Lavelle Crawford lost over 100 pounds after Breaking Bad, so like Stephanie Doswell, this means Huel gains the weight over the next 6 years. And many people had theories about how he will gain that weight.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Oh boy, will he. Michael expertly hides his damaged thumb from the camera, and here it looks like he gives us a knowing glance.
Could you state your name?
Charles L. McGill?
We saw his middle initial once last season.
Can the court reporter hear me?
Yes, sir.
The court reporter moved per Chuck's request, although not that much further away. And we've got a different set of looky-loos.
I believe it was his hope that the tainted documents would cause the client to return to Ms. Wexler, which is precisely what happened.
Objection.
I'm not saying Ms. Wexler knew what Jimmy was doing.
The witness needs to stop talking when an objection is raised. And as Legal Eagle points out, you're supposed to move to get the testimony stricken from the record after an objection is sustained, which never happens here. Although with no jury to instruct to ignore the testimony, omitting this step probably has no bearing on the committee's final ruling. There is still the public record, though.
Did you have any evidence to support your suspicions about James?
No, did an excellent job of covering his tracks.
Objection. The witness has admitted there's no corroborating evidence this supposed crime even occurred.
I find this funny because Legal Eagle had also said
she's not giving them a reason under the rules of evidence why they cannot hear this evidence. And the reason is it's pure speculation.
And indeed, the script did have Kim say speculation, but Ray left it out.
I'd like to hear what he has to say.
We'll extend you the same latitude on cross, Miss Wexler.
Maybe if Chuck didn't push the boundaries here, Kim and Jimmy's plan wouldn't have gotten off the ground.
Jimmy must have felt the tape was decisive evidence, otherwise he wouldn't have broken in to destroy it.
Objection. More speculation.
Sustained. We just need to hear what happened, Mr. McGill.
I apologize.
He does not apologize.
All due respect, but you do sound somewhat unhinged on the recording.
What you heard was theater.
That reminds me, if you rewatch my previous videos, you'll see tons of chicanery references throughout.
What you heard was theater, a performance, play acting.
I was surprised there wasn't more conversation about...
You know, used to work, and now it doesn't anymore.
But it turns out that it was in the script, just cut out.
Can we talk about your disease for a moment?
EHS, electromagnetic hypersensitivity. I describe it as an acute allergy to electromagnetism.
Does he, though?
Your brother called it an allergy to electricity.
It's an oversimplification. I know it sounds strange, but 30 years ago, no one had heard of peanut allergies.
No doctor has ever diagnosed you.
This allergy to electricity isn't real. It's a manifestation of something deeper.
AIDS was not identified properly until 1981. HIV wasn't known as the cause until 83. These things take time to unravel, even for doctors.
I have only one more question for you. Do you hate your brother?
Absolutely not. I love my brother. I love my brother. I love my brother.
Practice makes perfect.
He has a way of doing the worst things for reasons that sound almost noble.
That sounds more like you, Chuck. Or Walt.
I'm a manufacturer. I'm not a dealer.
Or Hank to some degree.
Pinkman gets killed, and we get it all on tape.
More cut dialogue.
But what I know for sure is that the law is too important to be toyed with. And And the way my brother treats the law breaks my heart. That's why I did what I did, to protect something that I hold sacred.
The law didn't seem sacred when you took your neighbor's newspaper, or when you maybe committed fraud against Mesa Verde by hiding your illness that had material consequences, such as storing their documents insecurely.
The state bar rests.
I'm sorry, my co-counsel and I need a moment to confer.
Please be brief, Counselor.
Should be.
Now it all makes sense.
How'd you get it?
Address book on his desk.
Flight's delayed. What are we doing?
The idea of the teaser was that if Jimmy's going scorched earth, what's the deepest cut he can make? It established that Chuck still has feelings for her, she doesn't know about his condition, and he desperately wants to hide it from her.
You will not tell her.
And that their relationship is amicable enough that she would travel here out of concern. Let's listen in on their whispers.
Mr. Chairman, might I have a moment to get a breath?
Oh, of course, Mr. McGill. Folks, let's call this 15.
Rebecca.
Chuck, it's good to see you.
I have to say, I'm a bit surprised.
Dialogue was cut here, probably because it made no sense, given that Chuck later says
4,000 miles she came?
Which is also in the script, but Singapore is over 9,000 miles away, and Portland is just over 1,000.
Did Jimmy subpoena you?
Whoa, Chuck, try that again.
Did Jimmy subpoena you?
No, I'm not here for that. I can't believe what you've been going through.
Oh, you're here to help, because all this is so stressful for me. Is that what Jimmy told you?
He's worried about you, Chuck.
What exactly did he say?
That you had been sick, allergic to electricity. He sent me pictures of the house. Chuck, my God.
She did originally bring up the events of the teaser. It makes sense that Jimmy would tell her this because it would make her more sympathetic toward him.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want to upset you, but now you're here. And now you know.
I think I should go.
No, please, I want you to stay.
You don't seem happy to see me.
I am. I'm not.
Are you sure?
You've been sold a bill of goods, Rebecca. I want you to see what's what.
Jimmy's Walmart chips are Best By 2017, which would be very impressive for 2003. Maybe the packaging also looks too modern, but I'm not sure. I do know that the Lay's logo is too new, and the Wonderful Pistachios brand wasn't launched until 2008.
It's just not what I expected.
Yeah, what'd you expect?
I don't know, just not her. You know, she's gonna hate you when this is over.
Yep.
Jimmy, exit!
At this time, I'd like to turn cross-examination over to my co-counsel, James McGill.
For this final act, which had its own dedicated day of shooting, the director had 3 cameras running simultaneously for most of it, so the editor had about 16 hours of footage to sift through.
You and I have never really talked about this tape you made.
We lost the opportunity when you burglarized my house to destroy it.
They filmed these scenes throughout the night, plus they'd lose daylight early from filming in November. So for many shots in which you can't clearly see the outdoors, they shined artificial light through the windows.
Still, I'd like to try and follow your story of why and how you recorded it.
Oh, is this where you claim the tape is spurious? That it's not really your voice?
No, that's me on the tape. Would you like to set the scene for the disciplinary committee? Tell them, what your house looked like at the time of the recording.
Objection. Relevance?
How can you know what the tape really means unless you know what was going on when it was recorded?
Overruled. The witness could answer the question.
I covered most of the walls with foil scrim craft insulation.
The Reflectix he used wasn't actually that. There was no craft paper layer.
I also hung a number of space blankets, compact mylar sheets. They insulate and protect against mild electromagnetic radiation.
And I'll repeat that mylar space blankets barely shield electromagnetic radiation, unlike actual aluminum foil.
It was like being inside of a disco ball.
Do you have a point?
I'm impressed by how much work went into entrapping me.
I provoked an admission in adverse interest. That's not the same thing.
How did you know it would work? Isn't it because you knew that it was precisely the thing that would worry me so much that I'd say anything to talk you down?
Objection.
Okay, withdrawn. Every surface covered in tinfoil. Nothing crazy about that, huh?
I was playing up my condition. Usually it's a perfectly normal house.
He shouldn't have said that.
You think your house is normal? Can I call your attention to Exhibit 9?
Jimmy, it's Exhibit 12, one after the max volume of Nigel Tufnell's amp.
Why don't you just make 10 louder? These go to 11.
Exposed wires. A lantern on top of newspapers. You call this normal?
I call them adaptations for a physical medical condition.
Did the doctor who granted me guardianship for you think this was a physical condition?
Objection. Mr. McGill's mental health is not at issue.
No, the state bar opened the door to this when the witness talked about his supposed play acting.
We discussed a physical allergy, not a mental disability.
Potato. You say potato, I say spoliation. You say
Tomato.
I say
Tomato.
potato.
Tomato. Tomato.
Let's call the
whole thing
off.
You need to see Chuck through my eyes.
This would be easier to do if Jimmy went with the magic pill strategy.
If you'll all take the magic pills I've provided, I will show you my theory.
I believe that tape was evidence of only one thing. My brother hates me. He claims that he lied to me to get me to tell the truth. And I'm telling you, I lied to my brother to make him feel better.
We did promise the defense some leeway. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But watch yourself.
At first, it seems like a plot hole that the prosecution didn't compel Lance to testify, which should be possible even though this is just a disciplinary hearing. It could have been devastating for Jimmy's claim that the forgery was imaginary, but real lawyers have given good reasons for this. Lawyers don't like calling someone to the stand if they don't know what they're going to say. Lance could have been the type to lie under oath, given that he already was bribed to lie. Chuck probably looks down on him and personally wouldn't take anything he says seriously, so he might think the committee would feel the same way. Lance would have painted an unfavorable picture of Chuck and his erratic behavior, and the committee probably wouldn't like that Chuck used his status as
An officer of the court
as a threat. The prosecution thought it was a slam dunk case, so having Lance testify would add unnecessary risk, just like what Howard was thinking about Chuck testifying. We could add Chuck's hubris to the list, as he would have no doubt that his testimony would be believed. But I know the real reason. Jimmy convinced Lance to use the disappearer.
Tell him that you need a new dust filter for a Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60.
A few moments later.
Lance?
No. Chuck, I'd like to talk about when these symptoms first started. It was shortly after you were divorced, is that right?
Yes.
You think the stress of the divorce brought on the illness?
I doubt it. My ex-wife and I are still on good terms.
This is going to sound crazy, but the last two shots of Chuck have its final frame stick on screen for 1/12 of a second, twice as long as it should. This is only on the Netflix version. I checked the Blu-ray and I even bought the freaking episode on Prime Video to confirm it doesn't happen there.
In fact, your ex-wife is present with us today.
Objection. I can't see what purpose this serves.
I can. I'll tell you why my brother brought my ex-wife to this hearing. 4,000 miles she came.
Objection. Lack of personal knowledge. Rebecca was not in Iceland.
The last time I saw her, I covered up my illness. Now Jimmy has outed me in front of you. You know why? To rattle me.
Chuck seems to have Jimmy all figured out. Perhaps Jimmy got this idea from The Godfather when Michael Corleone intimidated Frankie by bringing in his brother from Italy.
He knows I still have a lot of feeling for my ex-wife. He's hoping this will break me down. Split me apart at the seams like a murderer confessing on an episode of Perry Mason.
Perry Mason is known for dramatic courtroom breakdowns.
You didn't kill Thompson, but you did, Mr. Wells.
Yes! Yes, I killed Ned Thompson! I killed him!
It was all falling apart because of Skylar. Skylar. In the tub.
Geez, Skylar's catching strays from 1962. Not everything's her fault, guys.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jimmy.
I'm not sure why Chuck is so confident this won't happen to him. Jimmy basically did this to him once before.
Why were you working against me, Chuck?
You're not a real lawyer.
Have I answered your questions to your satisfaction? Do you have anything else?
Jimmy's showing reluctance and true remorse this time for the pain he's about to inflict on his brother.
Yeah, I do.
It reminds me so much of two Walt moments before he hurts his brother-in-law.
Tell me, you got something.
Yeah, I got something.
If you'd had, I don't know.
Speaking of Walt.
Lung cancer? Would you have told Rebecca then?
Maybe, I might have.
So how is this different?
Mr. McGill, move it along.
Although it's interesting that Walt initially was hiding it from Skylar, which is counter to what Jimmy's getting at.
I want to get down to brass tacks. I want to be very, very specific. Does it hurt right now?
There's always some discomfort, yes.
Ooh, I'd better write this down.
Electricity is everywhere in the modern world.
Not just the modern world, it's in our bodies too.
With the lights out, you don't feel them.
If the current's not flowing, no.
Sorry about the exit signs. I guess they couldn't kill those for you.
Intensity drops off with distance, per the inverse square law.
I'm not a physicist. Could you dumb that down a shade for me?
Jimmy, if you were a physicist, you'd be even more confused by Chuck's explanation. I'm not a physicist either, but physics student and channel member Taisaku just wrote a white paper for us describing the problems with how Chuck describes his illness.
Yes, science!
I've linked it in the description.
The farther away it is, the stronger the source needs to be to have an effect.
So if I had a small battery, say, from a watch or something, and I got it close to you, close to your skin, you'd know.
I would feel it, yes.
Notice he said battery from a watch and not battery in a watch. We've seen that disconnected batteries bother Chuck, but as many of you have pointed out, there's no current flowing in these cases. The presence of a voltage in a disconnected battery should be no different than the voltage in the wires.
I
fire.
in the walls when the lights are off. Nevertheless, he has laid the foundation that a battery on its own is something he would feel, even if science or Chuck himself can't explain it. And that's the key.
Can you feel more current coming from any particular direction right now?
The fake wood is falling off the door, although it will be magically fixed a minute and a half later.
From the back wall? Or from over there? Or up through the floor? Can you tell us where the nearest source is right now?
Jimmy, do you have something in your pocket?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. My cell phone. From this distance, you should feel it.
Mr. McGill, you were warned to leave your electronics outside.
It's all right. May I?
Chuck can be confident in this because he knows Jimmy would never hurt him with a hidden battery.
Just as I thought. There's no battery in here.
Charlie Hustle, you world-class son of a bitch.
That's a sorry little trick, isn't it?
And unbeknownst to Chuck, he learned it from Dr. Cruz.
That was a dirty trick.
That wasn't a trick, it was a demonstration.
Yeah, you got me, Chuck. Dead to rights.
I got him. Dead to rights.
Objection.
Sustained. Wrap it up fast.
God, Jimmy, don't you know by now this is real? What do I have to do to prove it to you?
I don't know, Chuck. Could you reach into your breast pocket and tell me what's there?
What now?
Can you tell the court what that was?
A battery.
You got one part of that wrong. This is not
a battery.
Mr. Chairman, please.
You recognize that man in back? His name is Huel Babineau. He's on our witness list. You bumped into him in the stairway. He'll testify he planted this fully charged battery on you over an hour and a half ago.
Hour and 43 minutes.
And you felt nothing.
Even if it's a made-up condition, and even if he doesn't know about it until after the fact, it's possible Huel could be guilty of battery with a battery. The planting of the battery is absolutely offensive to Chuck and was intended to be. We'll get back to this. The first phone fake-out was not gratuitous showmanship.
I got one more thing.
It was so Jimmy could have a phone handy to prove that the battery had charge. Jimmy's phone is showing a very Huel-related New Orleans, but it's just part of the startup sequence for this LG VX5300 phone, a phone from the future, 2006.
No, it's a trick. It has
Enough
to...
is enough. I submit that Mr. McGill's mental illness is a non-issue.
We've already seen pretty clear evidence that his condition is mental. Besides that, Chuck's symptoms tend to go away when he's preoccupied with work,
Chuck?
or stopping Jimmy, and Chuck often reacts when hidden electronics make themselves known. It's noteworthy that Jimmy knows Chuck's condition is mental because that's the only way this would have worked. We never got confirmation of that before. He only said,
I'm not saying it's 100% real.
And all the way back in the second episode, he implied that Chuck's condition flared up when worrying about him.
Take off the space blanket. I didn't do anything wrong.
It has nothing to do with that. It was your phone.
The fact that his symptoms started shortly after divorce, which we didn't learn about until this episode, certainly must have had Jimmy suspect mental illness from the start.
Take off the space blanket, Chuck.
But now, Chuck sees the evidence for himself. Even worse, he's been exposed in front of Howard, Rebecca, these randos, and the committee. And it's on the record.
If he were schizophrenic, it wouldn't take away from the fact that the defendant...
am not crazy!
And here it is, folks, our Perry Mason moment.
I am not crazy.
The original intention was the first one was directed toward Mr. Alley.
I am not crazy!
And the second, more gentle one was directed toward Rebecca.
I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216.
I normally don't point out all the minor differences in what's spoken versus what's scripted, but because this speech is so iconic and some of you can recite it word for word, wait until you see the members' shoutouts, I think the differences are fascinating.
One after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never. Never. I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks. He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him.
Mr. McGill, please, you don't have to go.
You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery?
Choosing this name for the episode was a stroke of genius.
He's done worse. That's Billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy. He defecated through a sunroof. And I saved him. I shouldn't have. I took him into my own firm. What was I thinking? Do not make a fool out of me. He'll never change. He'll never change. Ever since he was 9, always the same. Couldn't keep his hands out of the cash drawer. But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be precious Jimmy. Stealing them blind.
Chuck's using the legally correct term even in this manic state.
And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke!
It's weird to see that last line without an exclamation point. It makes me imagine Peter Gould delivering it like, what a sick joke. Similar to how he imagined Chuck's line in Uno.
I am going to get better.
Versus what Michael decided to do.
I'm going to get better! I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him.
Michael's changes were definitely for the better. This speech was shot as a oneer that pushes closer the whole time, much like the speech he gave to Kim last season. Although they used a wider lens for this shot, which makes his nose and forehead more prominent, with the idea that you'd feel his mania more. And I love how it kind of puts us in his head. As he gets caught up in his thoughts and loses sight of the others in the room, we too literally lose sight of the others in the room. Dave Porter did compose music for this climax, but it's no surprise that they decided to go without it.
I apologize. I lost my train of thought. Got carried away. Do you have anything else?
Nothing further.
Ah, some trick, considering the results. Wouldn't you say it was more of a treat?
Unlike an episode of Perry Mason, nobody's celebrating a big win here, yet. Chuck is mentally ill, he got publicly embarrassed, and it's just a sad, crappy situation for all. Plus, the hearing's not over, so they don't want to gloat. After all that time with Chuck's face getting bigger and bigger, he now looks weak and tiny, taunted by the giant exit sign. Exit, exit. But wait, there's still so much more to say about Chuck's breakdown.
I am not crazy!
He is not crazy. Or at least not nearly as much as this speech makes him appear to be. For starters, yelling "I am not crazy" is not a great way to convince people that you're not crazy. I often hear people claim that Chuck is making a mistake yet again when he says,
I knew it was 1216.
It's 1261. I know where my own damn bank is.
Objection!
But that's not what's happening here. The documents he reviewed did say 1216 thanks to Jimmy's forgery, and he didn't make a mistake. He correctly filled out the paperwork according to what he had, and the Magna Carta fact is why it was so easy for him to remember that it was 1216 at the time. That's what he's talking about. But since nobody will ever know that, yes, it does look like he's doubling down on a mistake.
One after Magna Carta.
Maybe Chuck should have been thinking of a 1215 besides Magna Carta. Chuck has a history of disregarding advice.
The bigger the lie, the harder it can be to dig out.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
I'm sure that... I don't know if that's a good idea.
I can do it.
I'm just worried about your comfort.
I find victory laps very comforting.
We take our licks and we move on.
It was 1216, I promise you.
I think I've been very patient.
This is our duty. Jimmy destroyed the duplicate. It's fine, Howard.
And crucially,
maybe you don't need to testify at all.
No, I do.
Whereas Jimmy took Kim's advice.
You can't argue this yourself.
And back to Jimmy's wisdom.
The bigger the lie, the harder it can be to dig out.
Although not really a lie, the falsehood of his condition that he has explained in great detail to so many people, including himself,
The closer I am to such devices, the worse my symptoms.
made it impossible to dig out of the grave Jimmy just buried him in.
As if I could ever make such a mistake.
Michael's change to the scripted line must have made this even worse in the eyes of the committee. Claiming that you never would make such a mistake is bad enough. The idea that you could never make such a mistake is worse.
He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for
A
us?
baseless accusation and an unnecessary character attack.
You think this is bad? This chicanery?
Chuck now strays off topic, helping prove Jimmy's point.
He's done worse. That's Billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy!
Although he's right, this either looks like a petty attempt to discredit Jimmy's perceived heroism, or just a non sequitur because the committee might not be aware of this incident.
He defecated through a sunroof!
The committee definitely wouldn't know about this incident, so this just sounds crazy and random. He might as well have blurted out even more nonsensical things.
I know he swapped my brain. I know he swapped my mind. I know he swapped
My groin.
And he gets to be a slimmy. And he gets to be precious. And he gets to be a lawyer?
He almost sounds like a child who's upset that his brother got the better Halloween costume. Chuck is like Cassandra in Greek mythology. He speaks the truth. He knows it, and we the audience know it, but nobody else believes him.
You know I'm right!
Between his disproven EHS and his attitude toward Jimmy, he comes off as delusional. Hank also had the Cassandra problem, although for different reasons.
We can't predicate a criminal investigation on a person not making phone calls.
He'll never change.
After,
I believe you can change.
he's back to his true belief.
People don't change.
Ironically, we know he will change for the worse, eventually becoming Saul Goodman, in no small part due to Chuck's actions.
Ever since he was 9, always the same.
Jimmy was 12 or 13 in this scene, so I guess that wasn't the first time he took some money, if Chuck is to be believed.
Couldn't keep his hands out of the cash drawer. But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be precious Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And this part of the rant shows more clearly than ever that Chuck is motivated by childhood envy. Probably the nail in the coffin for the committee's opinion of Chuck.
And you have to stop him.
So yeah, it appears quite convincing that
My brother hates me.
And
I lied to my brother to make him feel better.
They haven't yet demonstrated
James McGill is an asset to our legal community.
just that Chuck perhaps should not remain in good standing, but the hearing will continue into the next episode. Vince describes the climax as a tip of the hat to what he considers one of the best courtroom dramas of all time, the Kane Mutiny.
I know now they were only trying to protect some fellow officer, No further questions.
Mike watched this movie in Breaking Bad.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gordon Smith wrote this episode, and this is his mom, a tax attorney who advised on legal matters for Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, including the Skylar IRS scheme. She passed away suddenly while the writers were just getting started with this episode. Like many others, Lavelle's name was saved for the end to keep Huell a surprise. Now what about if Huell is found guilty of battery? Jimmy would already violate the terms of the PPD, whether because
James must only associate with law-abiding citizens.
or because Jimmy himself would be guilty of solicitation of battery. That's instant jail. But getting the battery charge to stick could be an uphill battle, especially with Chuck admitting to occasional play acting for his benefit. Even if it did work and Jimmy went to jail, his
4th-degree felony breaking and entering
probably wouldn't be enough to get him disbarred given the circumstances, so it makes sense that Chuck wouldn't bother pursuing this. Congratulations and thanks to the new 1-year members! Kaido, Funny Fish, I, LMAO, Rick SSBM, Williachi, Obama Gangnam Style, Noel, Grandpa Max Gaming, Idiotic Finn, Ryoshu's husband, Patrick Skerik, Senkodev, Fat Goomba, Vavris, Mike Eel, Domon Cocos, Fake, Mississippi Rivers, Epsilon, Fernando Ruiz II, T-Bone Spoon, Edu, El Pollo Loco, Soggy Indica, Astro Reboot, Dread Toga, Killian Kenny, Figgy Pudding, Schlaubi Einfach Nurmul, Natsni Kotzer, Cat Does a Thing, Saul Darth Vader Alvarado, Connor, Leonidas A300, Jeff M, The One Tall One Small, JP Creations, Marley Wolf, Kadister, Dandis, Pyrelix, Agent Walta, Whirlmon, Goro, Chris Schick, and Barry. And to the new 6-month members! Volcarona, Thick Thor, Daryl Andre, Damian Vergara, Mousehouse 2, RS3507, Voskzo, Mikush 8-Bit Bastards, Gabe the Scrub, Captain Cookie 04, Glory Chiku, Kara Central, Drip, Cloudy Mushroom, Saggy the Hedge, K2Y, Ruben Lawrence, Squat Motherfucking Cobbla, Faxy Thorn, Jaws Poet, Gizmo Fox, Chuck and Chandler, The Big Ham, Penelopisa, Jacob Peshka, Pancakes, S-Chucks, Dane Smith, Adam, Doc Sigma, Blundercat, Lucy, Lukai, Zogma, Kendorable, Taco Truck Engineer, Sammy Trinidad, Mendo, Zebi was here, Leap Day Music, Ariana, Lil Hop, Rio, Ooks, Edward V, Batuta Cartes, Phoenix, Bezzy Peitel, The Ferret 99, Fat Linalbo, Tanoon, Kale Darkwind 6151, Rogaz SCP, Van of Jam, All Day Fella, Turning the Tables, Matthew Acer, Lighton, Familia Vasquez, Cherry Spiders, Muffin Hands, Ashton Price, Alpasha Shosh, Kibby, Revsu, DGA, Cameron Mullins, Whack-A-Mole, Bunny, All Hail the Mighty Glow Cloud, Wolfengene, Artun Demir, John Sawad, Waffling Bandit, Baboon Mama, Wub, Ethan Wallingford, Austin Fields, Pi, No WLB, Vet Monzer, Family Values, Mandelbrot, Dom Drake, Zoltan T, Golden Goose, Adam John Thompson, Base God 621, and Kurtz. Now say hi to the new members, the last video where I'll read them out loud. If you joined after the cutoff, you'll still appear next time, I'll still read your name after 6 months, and there are many more reasons to become a member. Tsunami Inc., Silver So 566, JB, Chris, Jasper3948, Score, AZ, Jasper Chase Mashup, Saint Laggy, R on PB, Jack Prue, Michael Zamora, Master of Hone, Sam, Antoine Charrier, Isoxy, G Rada, Scammy Ondex, James Russell as East Jail, Luigi Von Koopa, Lapros, Verzi Edits, Just Jack, Debonix, Uncle, Havhen, Religious Waffle, Adam, Maxine Caulfield, Alex 1212-771, Mifobu, Mason Mock, Maxim Gusev, Spicy Milk, Lucas Linhares, Chris Walker, Unark W, Chaplad, Rourke Iba, Ryan Heck, Alden, Bright Spark, T, Rebel Without a Cause, Wexess, Chris Bell, Nathan Charles, Robert Boros, D. Kuman, Death to Fascism, Rubylicious, Jeff Riken, Snow the Jam Man, Arrows, Llamas Are Pink, Znept, Chicken Permission, Logan Oaks, Francis Not Real, Matei Bojniak, Susan Denny, Alessandro W. Smith, Costers, Shannon Galloway, Turbocharger, Firetoast 2, Bendik Eidschau, John Underwood, Eric Lost Bear Jr., Mine4, Music Lied, Matthias Pedersen, Gmas Chill, Frog Goliath, Bakovia's Depression, Boba 2814, Ivizine, Andrew Gentry, Pizza Dotrar, Casual Funeral, Megakev, Young Floormat, Sam Martin, Andy Franco, Andrew Mandeville, Sam Smells, Tanner, Smugtown, Mr. Grumblehump, Ignacio Vizaga, Cassio Rat, G Straight Money, Galaxy, Rexer, MLG Gamer, Quinnen, Hale, Jeff Koch, G-Vamp Queen 74, Liam Bairn, Mikhail Hump, Jendup, Andrew Stephenson, Oli Herbs, Drew Tesk, Hayden Bourgeois, Ronnie Hart, Avery, Waste Pit, Ivan Cezanniuk, Jack Cunt, Diego Hernandez, Stefan Hegel, Rock Guy 21, Zider, Ann Elizabeth Cockburn, Stalking Hobo, Depolatisation, Shiorne Adrian, Chris, Bedro, Dominic Batista, Augustin, Suicide Winkler, Mo, Tickle Pibby, Brandon, That One Pineapple, Brandon 2166, Redding, Turk, Will, Jackson, Denny Bruce, Jacques Bernois, Cole Wyrick, Guy, Scarface, Cat Ditto, Kissy, Hicksons, Nick Chambers, Naomi Chungus, Jacob Karma, Cruz, Jarell Constantino, Mr. Magic Man, Jonathan Tom, Leon Croy, Nebebel, Cosmosis, Manuel Luna, Certified Certitious Certification, The Giggle Monkey, Gus Bus Fussrus, Eric Persiatov, JG, Sue Galacia, Trevor Bowman, I Got No Aimbot, Genie, Pretend to Be Normal, The Drunken Goose, Kath, Foy, Turtlemore, Matu Zimmerman, Maeve Shevchuk, The Void, Forbes iOS, Nico, Ruben Sandnez, Zinkel, Mohammed 14W, AKS, Black MCB White, Idok, Omegan, Squid, Itafuku 30, Jaws Ballet J, Isaac Ribeiro, Not Squishy, Assassin Navarra, Ghosty Baka, Ellie McVeigh, Mupdog, Quetzalcoatl, Honan, Cruz Collins, Bertrand Giebler, Virgo, Nicholas Guerrero, Ryuk Zero, Hornet LOL, Slippery Bogle, Muffin's Hat, Nostala Pasta, Andrew Baba 123, Roach, Demeserate, Dugerman, Wenquin, Moron, Nabeo, Didi Dog GG, Papa Corn Dog, Aramis, Malakauskas, Swash 57, Faux Paradox, Smartman, Montana, Yer Garcia, Jackson Cohen, Nicholas Alves, Is Leaf On, Pesterian, Fresh Meat, Slippy D540, Meepuck, SDF, Poopinator, Juan Mangan, Eros Cicero, Grunge Trash, Chase Tish, Willie B, Miles B24, Lucas K, Smugcat, Ash Garage, Payne Bell, Avery Madness, Packy Ward, BioGeek, Lorecle Tag, Jelly the Opossum, Paul, Cole Delios, Elia, Carrick, Z33 Crow, Madly, AlPX, Alessi22, Watch YouTube a Lot, Eli Bang, Leo V, Leompus, Peroculos, Nebeski, Glubbin, Electromica, Erasuxel, Fat Meat, Will LeBlanc, Wake the Dead, Ryan Sam, Jeff Gobeil, Mild Cartoon Violence, Kratom, Michael Casa, Matthias, Patar, Zomboy the Gamer, Caleb, Israel Alderetti, Bartha Zombor, Red, Don Kiwi, Jake S, Yulo, That Gameboy Bossv, Abdullah SK, Miss Splendor, Chris Butter XD, Pal Menino, Luna Varia, aka Alfonso Ordaz. He defecated through a sunroof. Andy A, Lots of Bees and an Underscore, El Mali Yemplo, Mama Negan's Hobby Emporium, The Red Meerkat, Augustine Rodriguez de Rossi, Nova Gnosis, Sliceth, Cortiope123, Mikey, Alan Perulski, Protolin, Rubusman 5K, Dimitri Belli, Matthew Bystry, Luke Jones, Coleman Reed, Sutkin. Are you telling me a man just happens to become a member? Michael, I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216. One after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never. Never! I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks, he got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him. You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? He's done worse. That billboard! Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy! He defecated through a sunroof, and I saved him. And I shouldn't have. I took him into my own firm. What was I thinking? He'll never change. He'll never change. Ever since he was 9, always the same. Couldn't keep his hands out of the cash drawer. But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be Precious Tarot Kid 1. Jimmy, stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke. I should have stopped him. I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him. You and the platypus extraordinaire. Next time, Jimmy gets back into the advertising game.
At the Neue Kloster Kirche. At the Neue Kloster. The Neue Kloster Kirche. Did I miss something?
Great job, Miss.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, very good. But I think I want to try this one.
Okay.
Will you stop taking my fucking toothbrush?
Sorry.
What? Start again. Do they live in the toilet?
Keep one because it's so bouncy. Is there a reason it's so bouncy?